What's up, Ravens fans? It's time to hear from you guys in Ravens Mailbag, and we have a lot of questions about free agency and the draft. It's that time of year right now. Some of the questions are the Ravens going to work out a contract extension and negotiation with Joe Flacco? And Noah Spence, everybody's talking about this guy. Is he somebody who the Ravens could draft at pick number 6? All of that and more on today's Mailbag.
Our first question comes from Garnett West, and Garnett asks, what is the likelihood of Joe Flacco restructuring his contract before free agency opens up? Would it help out? Well, yeah, it would definitely help out. I mean, some free money, sure. Yeah, I'll take that in the salary cap. If I'm speaking as if I'm Ozzie Newsome right now, right? And I think that if they are going to get a restructuring done with Joe Flacco, then yes, I think it will come before free agency opens, because that's really when you need the money, right? I mean, you need the money at the outset to know, can we even be in the game for Kelechi Osemele? Can we re-sign Justin Tucker? Do we have enough money to maybe bring back Courtney Upshaw? Can we pursue anybody, who else can we pursue? That's when you need to know whether you have those funds to do it or not. So, and history tells us that the Ravens have a history of doing this before free agency opens. With Joe Flacco and his first contract extension, they got that done on March 3rd. Yeah. And free agency opens this year on March 9th. So really, I expect a lot of these conversations, reportedly they haven't begun yet, I expect a lot of them to happen while at the Combine.
Yeah, that's the thing. A lot of people want to talk about, well, there's maybe not much conversations between the two sides. Negotiations, that's a concern. Not necessarily. The Combine is where these guys go to the nice steakhouses and they get the corner table and they figure out these deals. I'm going to be there with listening in, eavesdropping in these conversations.
You would.
All right, the next question from Matthew Alvarez. The question is, will the Ravens sign a free agent safety this offseason? Matthew, I don't think the Ravens are going to sign a free agent safety, because when I look at this position, this is a spot where the Ravens don't have a lack of safeties. They just need more playmakers in the position. They need somebody to be a playmaker, but they have an abundance of safeties. Both of the starters from last year, Kendrick Lewis and Will Hill, are going to be back. Also, Ladarius Webb is moving back to safety, so now he's going to be in the mix for a starting job. And then they also have Matt Elam. He's coming back from an injury. Terrence Brooks has still been waiting for his opportunity to play. There's no shortage of safeties. I mean, they have a ton of guys, and if the Ravens are going to sign somebody on the free agent market, they're not going to get like an Eric Weddle, who's a playmaking safety. I think if the Ravens add somebody, that probably comes in the draft, but I don't really think it's on free agent.
Right. Safety seems to be this need that the Ravens have, and I don't understand where that's really coming from.
Yeah.
Next question comes from Ravens for Life. Nice, for life. And the question is, can you see Josh Gordon coming to Baltimore via a trade with Cleveland? I would love that. Would absolutely love it. This is one of those, I usually like to just drop the hammer on a lot of these questions. I would love it. I don't think that it's going to happen. By all indications, Hugh Jackson, the new head coach of the Browns, wants to keep Josh Gordon. He is coming from the Cincinnati Bengals offense where he had A.J. Green and all these vertical threats, and he's on record as saying you need a dominant vertical wide receiver to be a good offense in this league. And if the Browns got rid of Josh Gordon, who else do they have? Right. That's their best offensive player by a mile. So I don't think that Cleveland's going to want to get rid of him, even if he gets reinstated to the league. I mean,
that's a big if.
That's a big if, right? He still can't play right now. So if Goodell's on his side, I think the Browns will also be on his side.
And let's just keep in mind, the Browns play in the same division as the Ravens. You think they're going to trade him to the Ravens, where they're going to play him 2 times a year?
Seriously, yeah, I don't think so.
All right, the next question, this is the final question today. Alex wants to know, is Noah Spence a consideration for the Ravens at the number 6 pick? Well, if you don't know who Noah Spence is, get used to hearing his name over the next couple of months.
Under a rock already.
Yeah, exactly. He's an outside linebacker, pass rusher, went to Eastern Kentucky last year, started his college career at Ohio State. And out of everybody during the last few weeks after the Senior Bowl, his stock has risen more than anybody else. This guy lit it on fire down in Mobile, Alabama at the Senior Bowl. He's a true pass rusher. A lot of people thought he's like maybe a 2nd, 3rd round pick, and now I'm seeing people talk about him as a mocked in the top 10.
Yeah, I've seen top 5 for him.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
I mean, so his stock has really risen over the last few weeks. But I say all of that with a caveat, I don't think the Ravens are going to draft him at number 6. The reason he ended up at Eastern Kentucky is that he was banned from the Big Ten for multiple failed drug tests, and I think that taking him at 6, the Ravens aren't typically a team where you see somebody rise up the board during the pre-draft process that they go and get really high. That would be more likely if he's available in the 2nd round. Right. If he somehow were to be there in the 2nd round, then I think the Ravens say, yeah, that's a guy that they could end up picking. But number 6, to me, that just seems a little too high.
I'm always leery of those fast risers based on a few practices.
Absolutely. So that does it in this week's Ravens Mailbag, folks. But send in those questions each and every week. Get at us on Twitter and Facebook, however you can. Let us know what you want to hear, and we'll answer your questions in the coming weeks. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.